I haven't played a lot of Pokemon Unite lately, and to be honest, I suck. But I like to think I suck just a little less than other people, so, there's that. As you get to playing more ranked and quick matches, you kind of get a feeling for which people pick which Pokemon, whether you're just starting out or if you're a long-term dedicated player. And as you play even more, I realized that this decision is very indicative of the kind of player that you are and how you approach the game. So I decided to make a video about what your Pokemon Unite main says about you. Now remember, this is all my own opinion, but whether you guys agree or not, remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel and leave a comment to tell me what you guys think. We're going to start the list talking about attackers, and what better place to start than with Venusaur. Now this is a very popular choice when you really want to be in the action and attack, but you keep everyone basically at arm's length. Now, I know this is the case for most range attackers, but for some reason with Venusaur, it feels like they're always really far away. I'd be doing my job and getting some points, but then out of nowhere, Venusaur will hit me with a solar beam from so far away, or even yet, they sometimes get really close for no reason. Basically, you're the kind of person that doesn't really respect boundaries. Okay, let's talk about Pikachu. If you've got Pikachu, you either have a Pikachu doll like this, or you have an avatar just like this. You probably also don't pick any other Pokemon because Team Synergy doesn't matter, and you want to play as this little yellow tycoon. I know this because I used to be a Pikachu main. It's a fairly standard pick, strong on offense, has good range, and let's be honest, who doesn't love Pikachu? If only his damn Electro Ball wouldn't chase you for all eternity. You're basically a stubborn kind of person that just won't quit. It doesn't matter what anyone says, you're doing things your way. And in many ways, I respect that. I'm just tired of playing with 4 ranged attackers. Next up is Greninja, and if you main Greninja, then you're probably the kind of person to leave when there's any sign of trouble. This guy uses Substitution Jutsu like it's nothing, then Shadow Clone Jutsu, then Water Shurikens. You're basically playing Naruto at this point. And the people who picked him are always either incredibly skilled, or they get too big-headed and get into fights that they can't win. Now, I always rate people that pick Greninja because they're not an easy Pokemon to use at all. Though they're always usually the ones that die first. Next up is Alolan Ninetails, and I gotta be honest, I do not like playing with Alolan Ninetails. I'm the kind of player that relishes speed, and Alolan Ninetails just doesn't have it. It's like a tank or a sentry, you just kind of sit and shoot from a standpoint, very little movement and mobility. But it's effective. A good Ninetales can be a supreme addition to your team. However, a bad Ninetales is like a dead weight, and to be honest, you're better off without it. Okay, Cramorant. I very rarely see anyone picking Cramorant. To be honest, before I looked into it, I didn't even know Cramorant was a ranged attacker, though I should have guessed because everyone in Pokemon Unite is a ranged attacker. You're the oddball. This is the hipster choice because it's not the easiest Pokemon to use, and there are a lot of easier and better options out there in my opinion. That's not to say it's not a good option. I just prefer to use somebody like Pikachu, for example. Maybe I'm missing out? I don't know. Cramorant players, let me know. Okay, Cinderace. And let's be honest, Cinderace is the popular option because it's so easy to use and it's the poster boy. Come on, I defy you to find a game in which you don't have Cinderace in it because I'm not sure if it's the simple but effective moveset or if it's the hype, but it's legit in every single game, especially in quick games, because you'll almost always find a Cinderace there. Mainly because in the early game they're very strong and can easily give you the upper hand. It also shows you the people that have been playing Pokemon Unite religiously since release, because if you have this outfit with that ridiculous battle pass, you're as loyal can be. Gardevoir. A Gardevoir on your team is a flip of the coin because you're either insanely skilled or you've never played this character before in your life. Without fail, every single game I've played with a Gardevoir, they're either incredibly good or insanely bad. Gardevoir's range feels like Luffy from One Piece, like it's never ending, and I'm not sure if I can ever escape no matter how many eject buttons I use. Needless to say, Gardevoir needs to be nerfed. Okay, let's talk about the new boy in town, Sylveon. And literally as I was making this script, Sylveon pops into the game with the latest update, and it's very clear that nobody knows what the hell they're doing with this Pokemon. They kind of just run around in circles, shooting whatever, and it doesn't ever look like they know what they're doing, but at the same time, the devs didn't really know how strong to make them because those attacks are lethal. Listen, if Gardevoir needs to be nerfed, then Sylveon needs to be double nerfed because those attacks are ridiculous. Right, we're done with the attackers. Let's talk about the all-rounders. Let's talk about Charizard. Now, the kind of people that pick Charizard are the kind of people that only ever pick Charmander because they think it's the best starter Pokemon. There's just not much to say about Charizard. I mean, if you need an all-rounder, he's there, but there are much better options out there. Picking a Charmander is like going to McDonald's and getting a chicken sandwich when you really want chicken selects. I mean, it's fine, it's there, but I want something with a bit more flavor. Charizard is just a bit boring if I'm honest. Like, the most exciting thing about Charizard is its Unite move, because I like to call it the German suplex, but that's about it. Now moving on to one of my favorite Pokemon in general, Lucario. Now if you main Lucario, you either have the patience of a god or you've got a death wish. You're probably the kind of person that waits in the longer line in the checkout rather than going to the self-checkout just because you don't want to put in that extra effort. The amount of Lucario players I see just chilling in the bushes waiting for me as I go to the top area to score and then basically one-shot me is insane. That's it. They're One Punch Man. Lucario is One Punch Man. That one-shot punch move that they have is so deadly. Once it's charged up, you're basically finished. I say all of this because I've tried and failed with Lucario. I just can't use him. I love him to bits, but you're just too hard for me. You know in anime when a character is on the brink of death and out of nowhere they pull out a special move to try and win the fight? That's Machamp. The amount of times I've taken on a Machamp to within an inch of its life, only to get hit by a flurry of fists and then lose all my points, is staggering. Especially that Unite move. It's a real game changer when your team really needs it. Machamp mains are gutsy, refuse to give up, and are absolutely determined, but also can be a bit reckless at the same time. Let's talk about Garchomp. I hate Garchomp. It's absolutely the worst Pokemon to go against, but it's also the best ally. It's one of those Pokemon that you love to hate because you don't ever want to go against them, but you would love to have them on your team because their moveset is just ridiculous. Garchomp are put into that kind of Lucario category, in which I would love to be able to play as them, but I'm just not good enough. They're also greedy, very greedy. Garchomp mains, stop taking our points. Now let's talk about the tanks, and that's right, we're talking about defenders. Now when you talk about defenders, you can't not talk about Snorlax. Now if you're a Snorlax main, you're either the laziest guy on the planet or you're a bodyguard or a bouncer with armor made out of adamantium that just refuses to move. You can drop a building on him, you could send a nuclear weapon, you could hit him with the Spirit Bomb from Dragon Ball Z and it still won't die. If you catch a Snorlax in their goal and they're sleeping, you can have the entire Ginyu force on your side, it is not budging. And if you got that shield as well, it's all over. I know how to pick my battles, and this is not one of them. Okay, one of my least favorite is Crustle. If you pick this Pokemon, you like deception and pulling one over on people, because there is no damn way in hell that this rock thing should be that fast and be that strong. Crustle is weirdly those Pokemons like, you don't want to face them, but you don't want them on your team either. They're kind of just in this weird limbo space. Crustle mains are a mystery to me. I don't even know why Crustle is in the game, but hey, I'm not the dev, am I? Moving on to Slowbro. This might be one of the most unused Pokemon in the game. Its move and skill set is very similar to that of say a Blastoise, but with worse stats in my opinion. People who pick Slowbro are meant to be defenders but end up going too far out of position and end up in fights they can't win because offensively they're not great. They're more support focused but never get used as such. Telekinesis is a great ability for example with which a melee attacker is perfect, but I just don't see it enough. Personally, it's just not for me. Blastoise is a mutant. It's like a fusion of Snorlax and Slowbro. If you main Blastoise, you're the kind of person that likes to have the cake and eat it too. And I don't blame you, why wouldn't you want to try and have all the best options and all the best abilities? The amount of health and attack that Blastoise has is almost unfair, especially in the late game with support close by. It's bordering on impossible to score against them with Surf or Rapid Spin as an option. And the Unite move is a great move that can clear the surrounding area so well, especially if you lose Rotom or Zapdos to the other team. For me, Blastoise is the go-to defender because they're just too much upside, at least until they patch it out. Now moving on to what every team needs, and it's the support characters. Let's start with Eldegoss. If you've picked Eldegoss, you either just downloaded the game this morning or you're dedicated to the line of support. Eldegoss has close to no offensive prowess. If you die to an Eldegoss, just surrender because that game is as good as gone. But if you need someone to just tag along and keep you company, then this is the one because on their own, they are doomed. Eldegoss is that one friend that'll always leave a retweet and a like on your post no matter what. And I respect that, because everyone needs a little love, you know? Now, Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime plays War Mask before anyone else and always kept up barriers, which is good because it's still not safe out there. But those damn barriers are so annoying. If you play on Shivra Park and you're losing and Mr. Mime is on the other team, don't expect to leave spawn because it's not happening. They're a support character, but it feels a bit more like a defender to me because of the barriers they put up. It feels like they do more to stop them rather than to help you. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. The thing about Wigglytuff is it's the least support-like support character that exists. Well, it does give support, but more for itself than anyone else. These are the kind of people that when something is going down on the street, these people are the first to leave. Or in fact, they're the ones that instigate and then run. They slap and run away. That's just Wigglytuff in a nutshell. That's why they stay alive for so long, because they put you to sleep, hit you with slow smoke, and then just leave. Let's put it like this. Wigglytuff would definitely be the last one alive in a zombie apocalypse. That's a fact. Okay, let's talk about Bliseey. You're the Jeeves, you're the Kevin De Bruyne, you're the Jeffrey from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You are the ultimate assistant. And I don't even know how Bliseey was allowed to be this OP because you just can't kill her. I've had literal nightmares about this egg she lays and it's almost unfair. Even though her Unite move, she literally picks up an egg and runs away so fast from danger to help a teammate. Like, how did Tencent Games sanction this? Now, if you're in the enemy goal and Bliseey's there with a defender, you might as well give up because it's just not worth it. If you main Bliseey, bravo to you because you're the savior that we all needed. And lastly, let's go on to the speedsters. I want to start with Talonflame, and if you main Talonflame, then you have a need for speed and you want the whole world to know about it. Or maybe you don't because you might be lucky to see this person at all during a game. Also, every quick battle I've played in feels like it has a Talonflame in it and I don't know why. Talonflame is the lone wolf, like most speedsters, but this one in particular because they think they're so fast they can get out of any trouble and make it to any encounter. Now that's all well and good, but half the time when I really need backup and Talonflame arrives just after I die, it's not really helpful, is it? I wouldn't call that teamwork. If you play Absol, then you're probably a very greedy person who loves to steal kills, but at the same time, you're always there right when we need them, so you know, props to you. They always get the last hit, the last say, and they turn up right when you need them. Unlike some other speedster mains, you can always count on an Absol to turn up. With the right skill set, an Absol could finish you off in 3 or 4 hits, which for a speedster is insane. Now, moving on to Gengar. At one point, Gengar was probably the most picked Pokemon out there because it was just too damn OP. I don't see Gengar played as much, but I still feel like Gengar has the ability to get into serious encounters and get you out of a pinch when you really need it. Now, I play as a jungler, but for the way I play, I don't really like playing as Gengar. I prefer to go with other choices. Probably because at the time I didn't really like going with the most popular option. Or maybe I'm just no good. That's probably it, to be honest. Okay, and lastly, let's talk about Zeraora. Zeraora? Zeraora? Anyway, if you main this guy, you're the lone wolf, the lone ranger, you do things your way. Now you also get the types that run into fights with no health and thinking that they can do it all themselves, but really they're just helping the other team. But used correctly, in my opinion, they're the most effective scorers in the game. If you want to get a quick 5 to 10 points on the board, especially with an Aeos cookie, that means that in the end game, they're your secret weapons. Okay, I think that's everyone. At least I hope that's everyone. If it's not, then please let me know, and also remember to leave a comment to let me know what you guys think about what I said about each Pokemon Unite character. Also don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.